the FBI raided?
I was the guy that got the call.
Really?
I was the guy that got the call. They were at the front gate, which is right over here, and I get a call from one of our team members, the FBI. They're here with a search warrant. They're demanding that you turn off all security cameras. Now, obviously, you have less security cameras at a property like this, right? Because it's commercial property, and you have to. And I go, I'm not turning off fucking cameras. No way. Like that's a no. And they came in here, and remember, they did it on behalf of NARA, which is National Archives. And no one actually believes that NARA wanted to raid Mar-a-Lago, right? Like, and NARA is like a glorified library, and that's why they said that was their justification to raiding the president's house. So they raided my father's room, they raided Melania's closet, they raided Barron's room. They went through all their stuff, and then we found out that they were planting classified folders in my father's office on this property, and
that's been proven.
Oh yeah, so the judge in the case, this amazing woman named Eileen Cannon, he admitted, Jack Smith admitted to her that they brought classified folders into Mar-a-Lago, placed them on the floor. Those were the same pictures that you saw on Fox and CNN every single night, right? Where there's classified folders, and that's when they said that he had taken classified information. They planted all that shit here. These are the dirtiest bastards you could ever possibly imagine.
So who was behind that?
Biden and Obama and all the Democrats who, listen, remember, go back to 2022. It was roughly the same time you were here, as you said. The economy sucked. Inflation was rampant. Biden couldn't get through a sentence without stumbling. Inflation was literally 10%, right? You had Pete Buttigieg, who you had every shelf of every Home Depot in this country that was empty. Every shelf of every Walmart during the holidays was empty. You couldn't get presents for your kids. You couldn't get a 2x4. Right, Pete Buttigieg, who was transportation secretary, was literally on paternity leave, because why wouldn't you take paternity leave when in the middle of a freaking crisis, right? And nothing was going well for these guys. And so what do they want? And they knew that Donald Trump was gaining in power, right? They knew that people were sick and tired of what they were seeing. And so they say on behalf of NARA, we want to raid your house, but there's no different than the 112 subpoenas to be exact that I got. They indicted my father 91 times. They took the mug shots. They impeached him twice. They took him off of every social media channel. Every judge in this country put gag orders on him every single day. They made up the Russia hoax. They made up the dirty dossiers. I mean, guys, they did everything they could to try and destroy him. They tried to destroy our company. They tried to debank us. They got every financial institution to effectively cancel us. We were like cancer culture before cancel culture existed. I mean, we were the most canceled people ever. The IRS was leaking our tax returns. I mean, I could go on for hours, but
it seems weird that they would request you to cut security cameras and assume that you guys would comply to that.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre, right?
Yeah, you're immediately going to say no, and then what do they say to that?
I bet they do that all the time, and I bet people are probably
who might do it.
Yeah, I bet they were probably sheep. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way, I asked them. I go, hey, I've a lawyer that lives right down the road. Can you just wait 5 minutes? She'll be here in 5 minutes. At least she can observe whatever the hell you guys are going to do. Absolutely not. They made her wait outside the front gate. So, guys, it's crazy. But this was the same group that spied on the campaign. And my father said it. He was on 60 Minutes. He was like, hey, they're spying on my campaign, Leslie. She goes, you have no proof of that. And sure enough, they were spying on his campaign. Under the last administration, guys, they were dirty bastards. They were corrupt as hell.
What do you do in a moment like that when everyone's just going through here? I mean, you're obviously frustrated, but how do you control yourself?
You know what? Honestly, we became so desensitized to it. I know that sounds like bizarre. I had gotten I became the most subpoenaed person in American history, and I never got I've been a pretty good kid overall. Never got in trouble. And man, they came after, right? Because I didn't have the executive, branch protections, obviously, that my father had, and I was running the entire company. And so they came after us but honestly, I think we were numb to the BS at that point. And so it was, no, we're not shutting off the security cameras. And I called my father, I asked him, I go, did anybody mention it to my father? And everybody said no. So I go, I'll call him now. We'll take care of it. And 20 minutes later, we wrote that tweet. You'll probably remember it, which is, they're raiding the famous Mar-a-Lago. This is an invasion of my home. This is just another way that they're attacking me, right? It was kind of a famous tweet. And then for weeks on end, you had the helicopters that were circling overhead, and the pictures of the front gate right down here. But no, never in my wildest dream would I have, and by the way, again, they said that they did it on behalf of the National Archives. No one actually believes that you would raid a former president's house on behalf of the National Archives. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, it's freaking insane.
Is that like the craziest thing that's ever happened? You must have had so much crazy moments when your father switched to politics.
Yeah.
Too.
It's kind of interesting is in 2016, right? You had the New York Times and everybody else saying that we had zero chance of winning. They gave us like 2% chance election day of winning, right? And so they didn't really ramp up the games because they had so little kind of hubris. Like they legitimately thought that they were winning, and they had the spirit of the American people. They had the entire mainstream media behind them. They're touting their message all day long. And it was only when my father really, I mean, obviously, as soon as he got into office, they started going after him viciously because they wanted to do anything they could to undermine his presidency and his message and everything else. But then really in 2020, when they realized that he could run again and he could win, that's when that's when they put the corruption on steroids. And that's when they went after him, like, beyond viciously.